Hey y'all. Welcome to the live. Wiz talking about bring your butt on. I am here. Hi Sherry. Hi Tyranda. Hi C Golden. Hi Terry. Hi Marie B. Happy Friday. I hope y'all are having a great day. At the start of the weekend, I wanted to get on here and talk about the latest episode of Married at First Sight and see what y'all are thinking. This season is, it's been entertaining. I'll give it that. Oh yeah, thank you, Terry, for reminding me. But I have these snowflake earrings. These are handmade and they're from my website, lavidarosastyle.com. It is in the description. Make sure y'all check that out. Today is actually the last day to use the discount code Black Friday. You can get 15% off of your entire order. I have these earrings. These are the silver. I also have them in white as well as ice blue. So, very fun. These have been like some of my best sellers. Everybody has been really loving the snowflake earrings. Shout out to everybody who has already purchased. I really appreciate your orders. Thank you, Tyrana, for putting the website in the chat. Make sure y'all check it out. Yeah, order your earrings. Make sure you order them with the discount code. It ends today. So, excuse me. So with that being said, you guys, overall, what are y'all thinking about this season? Are you enjoying it? Are you rooting for any couples? Do you just feel like it's hopeless for all of them the way that I do? Because at this point, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't see it working out between any of them because there's at least one or both people in the relationship that's hung up on something stupid where it possibly could work, but I don't know. Thanks, Tyranda. Please like this live. Camille should get some self-awareness. Okay. Now, I've seen a bunch of theories about Camille. We'll talk more about that when we get into each individual couple, but yeah, she definitely needs to get a grip on life. I still can't believe she's harping on this. Um, I hope Camille has apologized profusely, exactly, because he deserves an apology. It's very disrespectful and very rude the way she's been talking about him consistently in front of his face, behind his back. It's just all been disrespectful. Um, no hope, no real couple chemistry. No. Whose living situation is worse, David or Mitch? Ugh. I don't even know what to say. I don't even how can you compare the two? Well, at least Mitch had his own place, but it was filthy. David lives in his parents' basement and it's clutter. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you what's worse. It's hopeless. Alan, David, Camille, and Emem are delusional. Yes, I might have to agree with that statement though. I might have to. There's no hope. Mitch is worse. Mitch was so nasty. Yeah, because Mitch was filthy. I'll never forget wasn't there like a ring around the tub and it was just extremely dirty stove, kitchen. I can't believe he allowed a camera crew in there. Like it was disturbing to say the least. Juan's living situation isn't too hot. I was kind of surprised. I was surprised. I did I make this up? But I thought Juan lived in a high rise. Didn't he say he lived in a high rise? Or did I just make that up? Yeah, I was very surprised by that. And then the fact that you would think his place was pristine. the way that he was so unwilling to compromise on any of the decor at all. Since we're already discussing them, they were going to be first anyway. So, let's just go ahead and get into Juan and Carla. Like y'all were saying about his decor, it looked as if, and this is not to diss Colombian culture, because on after party he said he decorated his crib to represent Colombia. Well, you didn't do it justice. I know Colombia looks better than that and can be represented a little bit better than that. It looks like you took whatever you saw lying on the street in Colombia, brought it back to America, and decorated your place with it. Juan and Carla are both hippish in different ways. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I didn't like his attitude. And then wait, don't I almost forgot his TV sitting on that what was it? Wall plaster cart or whatever that was. Like, what was that about? You couldn't even mount the TV. Why is it sitting on a cart? Um, I knew it was something about Juan. His face was too perfect, clay-like. The experts are terrible. Why would they match a career-driven woman with a man that lives in a basement? Child, we're gonna get to them. Juan is a weirdo. The man had the man the man had a Home Depot cart for a TV stand, and he thought that was cute. Like, he did that on purpose. I could see if he said, "Oh, it's just temporary until I could find a stand for it to go." No, that was his decoration, and that made me feel like his situation is a lot worse than what he is putting on. Like, he already said he didn't have enough money to go out to dinner and go on vacations and stuff, but he acts like he is like the CEO of this app company. He has to pay all of these employees $10,000 a month and everything. It's giving scammer, low key. I don't know what to believe from Juan. I agree with him being very self-centered. Very self-centered. And he keeps getting exposed on the after party, because every time Keisha asks him, like, well, it just doesn't seem like you have a lot of room in your life for a wife. It doesn't look like you're trying to compromise on your space or your schedule or anything like that. So what was the point of you coming on this show? That's my question. What was the point of you coming on this show, unless you just wanted to promote this app? And that's where I'm falling every single time, because it's not because you really wanted a wife, because the way he treats her, he can get really ugly. But say it with a smile, or, oh, I don't mean it like that. I just, no, you're very disrespectful. Didn't watch the beginning. Did the experts see his apartment? I didn't watch the episode before the first episode, so I don't know. But for some reason, I don't know why it's in my head that I thought he had a high-rise apartment. That was a lie. And Carla is not getting off easy, because why is all your stuff in a storage unit? And because we have to be fair, if Carla was a man, we would have went in on Carla for conveniently ending her lease right before getting married. And now all of your stuff is in a storage unit. And this is like, y'all actually wasted camera footage to go look at her storage unit with all of her stuff just thrown in there. Like, that was an insult to our intelligence. Yes, he says stuff with a smile or calm tone. I think he's attracted to Carla but doesn't want her as a wife. I don't think he wants a wife, period. He's on the wrong show. But yeah, Carla, she has her ways. She's passive aggressive. I don't think she's necessarily ready to be married anyway. It's just that Juan is making her look so much better than he looks in this situation because he's being so rude. Yeah, and who's that roommate? Yeah, because he's saying his cousin is staying in his place while he's staying in the apartment with Carla. So what's gonna happen when the experiment is over? Is the cousin gonna move out? Your cousin, or is that your roommate? Juan is passive. He's very passive aggressive. Like when they talked about moving her stuff into his place, and he was like, "Well, your stuff has to go in here. I'm the only one with an apartment." It was like, that was unnecessary. That was rude. And then even the whole thing with, "Oh yeah, I forgot you were here on a honeymoon." I don't care what anybody says. He was being very rude, and I don't know how. Like, how could you not pick up on the fact that that hurt her feelings, made her feel away? You shouldn't even had to look at her reaction. You should have just known by what you're saying is rude. Like, I don't think it was convenient. They found out kind of late they were chosen. Okay. Carla's storage unit makes sense. If her lease ended right before the show, what sense does it make to get a new place without her husband? Okay. I mean, I'm willing to go with it, y'all, but I'm just going to be critical because if it were a man, we would be highly critical of that. We wouldn't be taking that as an answer at all. He says that it's on He tries to hurt her feelings, and she is, instead of calling it out, she's passive aggressive and, will stonewall and, hold back her feelings, be cold towards him. It's like a tit for tat thing. I just don't think they're going to work long term. They butt heads too much. Maybe he should go be in a relationship with David since he had so much fun with him in that spa and forgot all about his wife. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Hold on. I feel like Madison is going to miss out on a really good husband. I think that, shout out to whoever just placed an order. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to say your name out loud in case you don't want it out there, but shout out to the person that just placed an order. I really appreciate it. So like I was saying, I think Madison is going to miss out on a really good husband. He has a really good job. I mean, he's tall. He has deep voice. Yeah, the way he dresses can be a little eclectic, a little quirky. All of that can be fixed, okay? She is just not willing to give him a chance at all. And this man is completely 100% invested. He's overlooking a lot because she was dead wrong for leaving that man alone on their first night in their apartment. She was dead wrong for that. And I don't believe her excuse of, "Oh, yeah, you text him and said, okay, I'll be back by this certain time." But then you go back to your own apartment with your friends and y'all fall asleep on the couch. I just don't believe that. And I don't want to say she was cheating. I don't want to say she was with another man, but that's what it feels like. Because that story just wasn't adding up. They definitely won't work out. Alan gonna find his wife after the show. I totally agree. Why don't she just pack her things and go? He's handy and he cooks. He remodeled the kitchen. Okay, he remodeled the kitchen, and he cooked a meal that she couldn't stop eating it. It was obviously delicious. Okay, they could barely have a conversation for eating that food. I feel bad for Alan. He's actually really trying. He will definitely find someone new. The kitchen he remodeled is so nice. I do not like the food group boxers. And that's the thing. I ain't gonna lie. The boxers probably would have been a bit much for me too. Simply because this is our first night, you know, this is our first night meeting each other. I don't think you should be coming to bed in boxers. I don't. I think you should come to bed at least in some pajama pants at the very least. It's uncomfortable for you to come to bed in only your drawers on the first night, especially if she's not wearing anything scantily clad. If you're not getting that vibe from her, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be on the safe side, you know. And then the fact that they were pink broccoli draw, like, that would, I feel like that would turn anybody off. Yeah, he remodeled that kitchen, and she, like, it just seems like nothing he can say can impress her. Like, you could tell he's trying to, like, show her, look, I know I'm handy. I know how to remodel a kitchen. I got this nice car. I went to the gym for you like 4 times in the past 3 days. Nothing. Like, she'll be like, but you could tell she's just placating him, and she's not actually receiving any of it. Homegirl acts like she's so much better than him. I don't get it. Shallow people do not need to go. I don't get that either. Like, if you're gonna be this picky, why would you let someone else choose your husband? His poor mom was gonna be crying her eyes out. She probably be crying every single week, every time she see her baby being treated like that. Alan would do better with a woman of color based on his interest and personality. Right. Because when he pulled out that fur bomber jacket and was talking about he want gold chains, and he was on After Party talking about his favorite song is by Pop Smoke, I was like, what black woman you dated in the past? Or are you looking to date? I feel like he could get one too, low key. He got a little something. I feel like he could pull one. Dina the Explorer. I am not reading that out loud, but I'm screaming. If you don't want to move in and stay committed to the full marriage experience, exit. I agree. The pants to sleep is horrible. Yeah, I cover up, please. At least wear some shorts or something. Madison thinks she's cuter than she is. Well, they said that she likes pretty boys, so maybe she thinks that is her standard. But like I've said about a lot of these people on this show in the past, your preference, the person that you prefer, did not marry you. And it was so bad that you came on the show and let someone else choose your husband on national television. So I just would think you would come on here with the open mind. I just would think. The woman will be blowing up his DMs after this. I agree. I'm married. Trust me, the boxers are a non-issue. It's so trivial. I believe after a while, yes, but this is her first impression, and when I first saw him, I knew it was going to be a problem. I did. Could Alan and MM work? I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I thought about that. Whenever they had the one of the previews for the season, and I saw Alan and MM not kiss. They hugged each other. I was thinking that. I was like, they probably would have been a good match. I don't know if MM is into interracial dating. I don't know if Alan is either, but I feel like they could have been a pretty good match. Alan has a nice voice, but do pretty boys do her? She didn't even know that he went to the gym. I think the experts should have asked her why she did not know. And that's another thing I wanted to mention. Whenever they sat down with the experts and she was talking about how things were good on the wedding day, and then on the honeymoon she was very uncomfortable. She was crying every day, yada yada. And she said something about when they got to their apartment, she felt better and she felt more comfortable. But you didn't even show up that night. So how was it so much better whenever y'all made it back to the apartments? And that's the thing about Alan. He's kind of a pushover, especially when it comes to her. He's kind of like a people pleaser. So he's not going to call her out. He's not going to stand on business. He's not going to push the envelope because he already knows that she's not interested in him. But she should be called out on all of that. She's not really giving him a chance, and she is going hard defending David though on the after party. Are y'all watching the after parties? Madison is going all out defending David. Like, anytime his living situation comes up, she's gonna pipe up. She's going to defend that man until the very end. If somebody has something negative to say, she's going to have a rebuttal. She's going to have an excuse. She's going to have a reason. She's going to have all of the defense for David. You would think that was his lawyer. So every time I watch After Party, I'm like, Madison, are you with David? Because you're acting like that's your man. She's so picky with the raggedy weave. She's making me trash his outfits. She's making me trash his outfits, but all she wears is tank tops and shorts. Right. She wants him to be bland and boring and basic like her. I think that's her man now. She's blonde. That's enough for him. But he's not a pretty boy. That's my only thing. He's not a pretty boy. I like Alan's look. He would look better without the beard. I think he would look decent with a fresh face. I don't mind the facial hair as long as it stays trim. They did tease a switch up. Maybe it's her and David. That's why I'm like, cause she's like, it's not like they're asking her a question about it. She's just piping up and defending him, and I'm like, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. But anyway, let's move on. Now, Echi, I really feel that he is, a lot of people said in the comments that he is intimidated by her success, by the money she brings in, and he knew that his place in comparison to hers wouldn't be as lavish, maybe, because I don't think his place was really that bad. But the way he was just going on and on, yeah, my little meager apartment, this and that, constantly like downplaying himself, downplaying what he has, and honestly, that's not attractive within itself. Like, at least be proud of what you have. You have your own place. That's a lot more than we could say for David, right? So the fact that he was being so self-deprecating, and then he turns around when he sees her, oh, you, this is too much for me. This, oh my God, I can't believe, like, just going above and beyond. And then he constantly has something negative to say about her. Like, even in the beginning of the episode, he talks about, oh, you just take over the whole bed. You just, he says it in a playful and funny way, but he's constantly criticizing her. And even with the karaoke and how he was making fun of her with the karaoke. She didn't make fun of the fact that your whole living room is this big and your instruments take up majority of it. No, she asked you to go ahead and play your bass guitar so she can so she can see, so she can hear your talents. Like, Echi's place was a typical Chicago high-rise apartment. He's on Broadway doing the performance of a lifetime. Nothing about his interaction is with her group. Nothing about his interaction with her in the group is authentic. I totally agree. I think is a performance. He's very performative. And Pastor Cal called it out. Pastor Cal saw straight through it. Like, y'all are not as touchy-feely in private as y'all are in sorry, y'all. Y'all are not as touchy-feely in private as you are in public in front of everybody. And it just feels like you're putting on a show. When they're alone, he has to knock her down a bit. Yeah, like he constantly feels the need to tear her down a little bit. He seems like he's always on where are their genuine moments, right? He was too intimidated by her apartment. Anytime a man downplays, self-deprecates to uplift you, he's jealous and doesn't like you. The way he kept trying to dim her light. knows he's fake and doesn't like her. Does she? I'm still trying to figure out if she is seeing through him, because she already said that she tends to overlook red flags. And a part of me feels like she just wants to be married so bad that she is overlooking a lot. But do y'all think she sees him for who he is? Because I feel like in her mind, it's going great. And I feel like from the audience perspective, we can see it. And I feel like even Pastor Cal can see it to a certain extent. He just can't call him all the way out because nothing bad has happened yet. And plus he wants to, his job is to keep them together. But I don't think she does. I think she is in love with the fact that she is married. And not actually, she's probably looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. Whatever happened to them letters? Exactly. I think she sees right through him, but is trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Well said. She does at the same time. I like the experts' advice. I think they did good this episode from your reviews. You didn't think the same. I think they tell the contestants what they need to hear in order to keep them together, and not necessarily what is the betterment for them as people or individuals. Like the whole situation with Michelle and David, they're just trying to keep Michelle in the process and keep her from quitting, when what's best for both her and David is to break up, because she doesn't really want to be with him. But we'll get more to that in a second. But that's just how I feel about the experts. That's an example. I just feel like they do what's best for the show and not what's best for the contestants. I feel bad for MM. She just wants to be wanted. And she deserves to be. But I just don't think this is the person. She does, but she's in denial. She noticed his reaction to her place. Yes, and because she already said, like, she's experienced the same thing when bringing other guys to her apartment. So she has experienced a negative reaction before, and them being intimidated. And he gave a similar reaction. The faces she makes makes me think she sees who he is. And the fact that I don't know. I would never get over how she said she was afraid that he wouldn't be attracted to her, and he consistently makes it clear without saying it that he's not necessarily, I don't care what he said out of his mouth to the experts, that he told them, yeah, when I first saw her I was like, dang, she bad. But what are your actions saying? Your actions are saying when she tried to get in bed and she tried to pull out the honey pack, you were running, oh, my mom's gonna see this, oh, like she was trying to like take you or something. But that's your whole wife. So maybe she does see it. Her place is amazing though, the things I would do with that place. Yeah, she did have a really nice place. She had the nicest place we saw. I love watching y'all, gives me some solid perspective. Wait, hold on, y'all. Wait a second. Is Alan in here for real? Alan, I know this ain't you. Oh my gosh. If this is really Alan, shout out to Alan in the chat. We looking for you a wife, Alan. Hopefully you find one in your DMs. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Y'all trying to get tea from Alan. That's hilarious. Alan, you might find your wife in this chat, because there was some people in here talking about how they thought you were fine or whatever. I ain't even gonna lie. But let's talk about Michelle and David. So, okay. I feel like a lot of us were giving David the benefit of the doubt. I feel like, especially with how Michelle was treating him, because it's one thing to not be attracted to someone. It's one thing to she was bombarded with the negativity. He lives at home. He smokes cigarettes. This is like when she first meets him. So I totally understand that. But the way she treated him afterwards, that is where everybody was like, ugh, towards Michelle. But after this episode and seeing where David actually lives, and that David probably is a little bit delusional about his situation, because when he saw Michelle's place, which, you know, she became very, she was very offended when he said her place was cute and simple. And I didn't understand why she was so turned off by that. Like, it's not like her place looked like MM's place. It was cute and simple, nothing crazy. It was a nice apartment, but, you know, cutely decorated, but nothing extraordinary, right? But where I think he's a little bit delusional was like, oh yeah, my place, you know, similar. And then when we get to his place, and it was just very packed, very tight quarters. It looked like his parents' basement. Do y'all remember, I don't know if y'all watched Love is Blind, but y'all remember, what was that guy's name? Y'all know the guy from last season that stayed in his parents' basement, and it was a huge deal. But I was willing to accept his place a little bit better, because it was kind of like an open space. It didn't look like it was just meant for storage. You know what I'm saying? There was a room where there was like the pool table in there, and they had like a bunch of old crap in there, but it was still like an open space. David's place looks like storage. The table, when I saw that table, that the table itself wasn't even that big, but the little area the little nook that the table was in, and the chairs was just pressed up against the wall, and literally only one person could ever possibly sit at that table. I don't know anybody who could squeeze in and sit at that table. And David was just like, just carelessly, frivolously. It was Nick. Nick from last season had I would think of his place as more of a basement apartment. Still, his was still kind of like iffy because his mama was cooking for him and stuff. But David, he's just going around showing his place like, I don't know what he was seeing, but what we were seeing, I was seeing exactly what Michelle was seeing. And I totally understood where she was coming from with the washing machine. Like, even if someone else owned the upstairs, they still have to come down here and wash their clothes. So if the fact that it's your parents coming down here and washing your clothes, is your mama washing your clothes? Okay. The bedroom, if you could call it a bedroom, the mattress was pressed up against the dresser. I could see if it was renovated and he had his own style down there, maybe he redecorated or something, but it was giving college frat boy. It was giving I'm staying with my parents while I'm in college. It was hard for me to believe that David has been saving up for, and that was my other thing too. Thank you for bringing that up. There was a room with a bed. We never got a solid answer from David whether or not he was saving up for a house, because that was the caveat to Michelle agreeing to being with a man that lived at home. Because when Dr. Pia, they really tried to put this scene in as a gotcha moment, but I feel like it just exposed the experts, because Dr. Pia asked her, would you be okay with someone that lived at home? Immediately, Michelle was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, she just, no. And then the way that Dr. Pia kind of twisted it and manipulated a little bit, well, would you want to be with a man who lived at home, but he's there saving money, and as soon as he gets married, he's ready to buy a house? And she was like, okay, yeah, okay, right? Is that David? Is David ready to buy a house? Because we still haven't seen anything to prove that. Anytime he talks about why he's living at home, I see where Michelle is coming from. It's always, why not? Like, not why not live at home? Get to spend time with my family. I was barely home anyway. I paid off my car. I did but are you ready to get your own place? And I just feel like if you're going to be on a show like this, you should have your own. You should. I didn't agree when a few seasons ago there was a guy on here living in their friend's basement. I didn't agree with that either. I thought that was sketchy as well. Like, are you? They tried to clock Michelle, but they ended up clocking the show. Where does he work? That's a good question. I really don't know. David hasn't flat out said what his goals and that's my thing with David too. He needs to lay it out. Her problem is with you living at home. Why haven't you told her what your goals are as a husband? Like, what are your plans to leave? Because she ain't gonna live there with you. So why are you not telling her, well, this is what I plan. I plan to get a house. I plan to do this. He ain't telling her nothing. And then he has all these things that I'm about to get my girlfriend's name removed off my chest. Oh, I'm about to stop smoking. Like, do you have any follow through? The clip explained why she can't move past the basement. His whole persona gives unkept, the basement, all clear. He does give unkept. I think he's a nice guy. He just seems all over the place. I feel like David is a fun time. And that's why I don't understand why she didn't. If you couldn't do nothing else with David, you could have fun. So she should have been at least having fun with him on the honeymoon. I just think she didn't want to accidentally fall for him or didn't want him to develop feelings for her or something, because that's the one thing you can do with David. Everything else, I'm just like, I see where she was coming from with that. I do. He's prepared to split the rent. I don't like Michelle, but I agree with her. I don't like the way she treated him, because I do think she was being very condescending and she was kind of looking down upon him. But the experts played in her face. And she's wrong for, they're wrong for putting her with David. They knew that wasn't going to work. Now she needs to make her decision now. Okay, thanks for bringing that up too. So at this point, you know you're not here for his living space. You know you're not interested in him in that way. You know you don't, want anything from him. And there's no way to move forward. Like, you made that very clear. I don't care what she told the experts. She's made that very clear. You just need to leave the experiment. You need to cut it all the way off. Period. Like, leave. And David probably should too. Like, this woman don't want you. Just leave. Like, instead of like beating up on him and making him a punching bag. This is why a lot of people don't like Michelle. Instead of, talking down to him every chance you get, leave. You know you don't want him. You know that's not the one for you. It's a wash. Just let it go. It shouldn't be hard. It's not like you like him in the first place. I don't care about looks like that, but don't match me with a man living with his mama with sketchy finances. Please miss me with that. She's not wrong. I agree. Decision day should have been when that decision day should have been that day with the experts. I agree. She should have just cut it off right then and there, especially when they said to her, well, it sounds like you're giving up. She should have just said, well, yes, I think maybe she was trying to wait until she saw his place first to do that. We'll give her till next episode. Because she could have been holding off until she saw his place. Now that she's seen it and we know how she feels about it, her feelings have not changed. She is not here for it at all. We'll give her till next episode to cut it off, because if she continues going with that, why make this person suffer? Okay, so finally, Camille. I really feel like her harping on this swag. First of all, the fact that she keeps using the word swag is corny within itself. But the fact that she keeps harping on this. How old is Camille? She at least has to be in her 30s, right? You should be over that at this point in your life. Like, and when she keeps bringing it, it's like, do you want a thug? Do you want a YN? Is that what you want? Cause I don't think you can handle that. And somebody brought up a good point in my comments. Thomas is in his 40s. Thomas is 40. That's a grown man. He's not going to be sagging his pants and wearing fitted caps. Let alone, with who he grew up around and culture, whatever, besides all of that. He's 40. He ain't going to be doing all of that. I was shocked. I forgot to put this in my review, but I was completely shocked that he even had Jordans. He looked like all he wears is like those dad tennis shoes and, khaki shorts and polos and maybe a polo hat. But 30s and worried about nonsense. Hillary Banks want that thug life. Yes. And that was my thing. Like, she's talking about him like he's Carlton and you're literally Hillary. Like, where do you think you're from? Because you're not repping that place at all. You act like you're from the hood. That man had suits in his closet. That's a grown man. That's a grown man. That man had his hat to the back. What more do you want? Exactly. Thomas dressed like that would be so embarrassed. And that's the thing. Let's say Thomas did everything Camille wanted him to. Started dressing like, I don't know, started dressing like Kai Cenat or whatever. She would be even more embarrassed with him trying to use, that slang, or I don't know what 90s movie brainwashed her, but she needs to let all of that go. Sleepy time tea. Thomas living in that outdated apartment is more of a concern than his lack of smoothing. Well, I didn't see anything wrong with his apartment. I just think he don't know how to decorate. Thomas wore his hat backwards. She better keep her Drake. She's not ready for no Kendrick. I don't know, like, some people are before I get to that, how does Camille dress? Because whenever I look at Camille and her outfits, I'm not getting any type of swag factor. I'm not getting any flavor. I'm not getting any like what are we supposed to be getting from her outfits? Like, somebody laughed at me when I said she in basics, but yeah, she in Fashion Nova. Very, very much basic. Any outfit that I've seen her wear, you can get it from Rainbow. You can get it from TJ Maxx. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what are you expecting Thomas to be wearing? Y'all really match each other's energy. Like, as far as style, demeanor. Well, maybe not demeanor, because Thomas is a little sleepy. I want him to wake it up a little bit. I want him to open his eyes up a little bit, okay? Just a tad bit more. But y'all match each other's energy. Camille dressing like a grandma with her flats. She dresses like, y'all remember those books? Oh, what do you call those? You remember those books you would get in the mail, your grandma would get in the mail? And they had all these young women wearing these grandma outfits. That's kind of how Camille dresses. I'm not seeing the big cultural divide. Exactly. And if Thomas asks for a baddie, what is she going to do? That was a drop the mic moment. Exactly. Because if he turned around and said, I want you to start dressing like Drea, I want you to start dressing like, I don't know, Ari Fletcher, what's she gonna do? She gonna be running out of there crying. it's like she wants him to be blacker than her to give her more credit. Now, I've seen that theory. I've seen that theory that she feels like she already doesn't look, already doesn't have a black look or whatever that means. So she likes for her men to have all of the street cred or whatever. But girl, please, y'all look exactly alike. Like y'all look like y'all came from the same tribe. And maybe that's the problem. I'm sure Camille was surprised to see all the hate come her way. If she wouldn't keep harping on it, like, you said it to his face, you saw that he got upset by that, and then you brought it up again in front of the experts, which I thought was very rude. And then you brought it up again to your sister, which is still on camera. Like, you haven't learned that this is a private conversation to be having yet. That's kitchen table talk. That's group chat talk. Why are you saying this to the audience at large? You keep saying it over and over and over. And Thomas even said on After Party, I'm very much offended. And he's actually being a good sport about it all, because he could get very defensive and fire back on you. But I feel like he really wants this to work, so he's willing to compromise and try to see where you're coming from and try to do the best he can. But that is not him. Why do you want him to be somebody he's not? And then even when she said, oh, I feel like I'm in an interracial relationship, I thought that was very disrespectful. That was very rude. So just discount his blackness because it doesn't live up to your standards. I think she just wants someone with vigor and energy. Well, she should say that. She should say that, because she's out of line every time she opens her mouth about this. So did she put blackity black on her mouth? Okay. And then do y'all remember when she was in his closet and she found out he has Jordans, and she said now he's number 4 when it comes to swag? And it didn't click to me until later that she meant like number 4 out of all of the guys in the group. So you put your husband at, first of all, he was at number 5, but I guess he moved up on the list when you found out he had Jordans. You put him number 4 against 3 other men. So who's above him? Echi? Is that who you wanted? You wanted an Echi. That 10-year age gap is key to why they don't connect. I think that's a part of it too. I think that definitely plays a role in whatever disconnect that they have. But I don't know, yeah. Especially after he shared that he dealt with not feeling black enough. Right. And she keeps bringing it. She is so inconsiderate. That is so rude. That's mean. And he just doesn't have it in him to snap on her. But I feel like many others would have by now. Put her in her place. And she probably would like that. Wait, she meant out of the guys in the group. I believe that's what she meant, because she was like, yeah, he was at 5 at one point, now he's at 4. What else could she be talking about? Thanks, Tyranda. Please like the video. Yes, somebody is making a smoothie, Alexis. I'm screaming. The fact that she thought it was okay to say that is wild. Yeah. Because imagine if a husband on here compared his wife to the other wives on the show and had her at 5, but due to something trivial, put her at 4 and said, oh, well, I guess she's number 4 out of the group. In any area. Like, that would be so disrespectful. I didn't catch that either, rating him like that. There are 5 men. He is the 5th man. There are 5 guys in the experiment. Now, if Thomas says something out of pocket to her, I don't think she'll be. Now, you know she won't be able to take it. She'll be the first one crying and calling her sister, running and telling the experts and everything else. Unless her swagometer. Now, maybe that was her swagometer. Maybe I could have read that wrong. Okay, but she did say it was compared to other men. Alan is definitely number 1 on the swag list. I don't know if he's still in here, but you see it. You see it. Ain't nobody else wearing no gold chain and a fur bomber jacket. Madison don't even know what she got. Now, if he said big mouth and gums, would he be wrong? Pretty Scorp. I did not mean to read that out loud. I did not mean to read that out loud. I don't think she was comparing against the group. Okay, we'll say she wasn't. Okay? Regardless, rating him on that scale, I'm not here for it. I got bored during the wedding. Now, let me say this. Regardless of whether I think any of these couples are going to make it, this season actually has been very entertaining. I can't even lie. I couldn't even finish last season because it was just, I don't know. It was something about it that was so off to me. But at the very least, this season has kept my attention, because I do feel like for the most part, there's at least one person in each couple that actually wants to make it work and actually came here to be married. It's unfortunate that many of them were not paired with someone that is either not compatible with them, or they don't want to put in that same effort. This season is good. I'm actually looking forward to next week's episode. Agreed. I hate that on the recent Married at First Sight, a real connection seems to happen on accident. Yeah. So unfortunately, we have the individuals that we're rooting for, but I can't say that I'm rooting for a couple right now. This season is also moving faster. It is. Even though I do feel like the episodes don't have to be, what are they, 2 hours? I still don't believe they need to be 2 hours. And then the after party, I feel like the after party is longer too, isn't it? Longer than it has been in the past. Even though I'm here for them bringing in 2 sets of guests, like 2 sets of contestants. I like that because you do get to see from many different perspectives. One thing I notice about these shows is that they do a great job creating friends. If they ain't gonna do nothing else, they're gonna be friends at the end. The men are gonna be friends with each other. The women are gonna be friends with each other, and it might be a couple of wife swaps in there. Okay, and you know who I feel like set the tone for that? Y'all remember who was Bao and the guy who was married to Hurricane K? His name is Zach. Y'all remember Zach and Bao? After their season, they started dating. I feel like they opened the door for this. I feel like they opened the door for this. They set the precedent. Oh, you know, if I didn't find love with my husband or I didn't find love with my wife, maybe I could find somebody else in the group. Oh, Married at First Sight UK been doing swaps. Yes, ghetto bow and Zach. It's more social experiment. You can make it with someone you're not attracted to or have fundamental differences with. I don't know. They used to care about that sort of thing. They used to not purposely mismatch people in the beginning. But anyway, y'all already know who I think is gonna be one of the wife swap couples. Definitely Madison and David, because she go to the end of the earth to defend that man on After Party. But okay, y'all, we've been on here for an hour. Make sure y'all like the video. Shout out to Alan being in the chat. That was a surprise. You're welcome to come back anytime. And yeah, maybe we could even do an interview, y'all. I don't know. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Well, rewatch gang. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.